Hey friends, this is our overview video of what to expect for the yoga classes. This will be fun. I'm excited for this. So I'm trained as a pregnancy and postnatal yoga teacher, as well as a pregnancy and postnatal corrective exercise specialist. And I love to combine those two things. I think the practice of yoga is absolutely incredible. It's so important for us to embody our bodies and to be present and to be mindful. But I think sometimes, personally, people go too far and people really push stretches, and that's just not necessarily healthy for our pelvis and our overall function. So I'm gonna bring in some of those components as well. These classes will run the gamut. So some of them might be a 10-minute warm-up stretch or a 20-minute wind down before bed. Some of them might be longer, like a full hour-long class. I'm going to try to include a bunch of different energy levels, intensity levels, so that there's something for everyone. And since we'll be doing this journey together, you will see the modifications that I need to take along the way. So as our belly grows, in these first few weeks of classes, we'll do some prone things. So laying on your belly, because we're still pretty early on and this hopefully shouldn't cause any problems. But later on, we will be using a lot more props, and we'll be putting them under our pelvis so that our belly has room to breathe and expand, okay? So I expect to use a lot more props than usual in this pregnancy. And we'll be going through more of those options as we progress. But I just wanted to give you a heads up, a couple blocks, a bolster, a blanket or a cushion, all those things are gonna be really helpful. Our three, I'll tell you the conservative side of things and I'll tell you the more laid back side of things. So the laid back side of things will say we have basically 3 rules during pregnancy. Number 1 is called protect the house. This is our house. This is our house for our baby. It's our body, is our home. And that being said, we don't want to do anything that puts excessive pressure or folding, pressing, twisting on our belly. So that being said, any type of folding movements, like in a standing or a seated forward fold, take your feet out wider, bend your knees more, give your belly plenty of room to just hang out, okay? We're not trying to go for our deepest compression here. We wanna make sure oxygen is flowing in all the parts of our body. Same with twists. Those are the 2 main things with twists. I will briefly do something that we're not gonna do, which is a really compact twist where we're kind of cutting off at our belly, okay? We're gonna take a wider stance. We're maybe gonna have our hand down and do more of an open twist posture, okay? And this can come into play with lunges too, just taking a wider stance. It's a good idea to find the twist from above the belly button. So twists are amazing, I love them. Maybe we'll focus more on the upper thoracic spine and the collarbone and the shoulder, okay? Again, everyone's pregnancy progresses at a different rate. So the second rule is listen to your intuition. If something just doesn't feel right, don't do it. It's okay. Modify. It's not a competition. If going upside down doesn't feel good, if doing down dog, if being on your belly for like a cobra doesn't feel good even early on, don't do it. Totally fine. Listen to your intuition. It's there for a reason, and you're gonna hone it even more and more throughout this process. Rule number 3 is don't do anything new or like crazy outside of your wheelhouse. So if you weren't doing handstands before, I wouldn't do them now, especially because our center of balance will be a little bit changing up. So your balance will be a little bit off, and just don't do anything that you weren't doing before. Those are the laid back rules. So basically, don't twist or fold too much and listen to your body. Now, the more conservative side of things I will share, just so that you can have a couple different perspectives. Some people think that, especially in the first trimester, really you should just be doing like restorative type practices and no twists at all, nothing on your belly, no inversions. I've heard before that as your placenta is trying to attach in a healthy place, inversions may or may not affect that. Again, it depends on who you talk to and their viewpoint. What else? Inversions, prone. I talked to my doctor and she didn't specifically have any contraindications. So again, it's kind of just a listen to your body type of thing. I will share another video of what I did in my first trimester if you are kind of getting a jump start on things and want advice for that first phase. Because I definitely did take it a little bit easier then because that's what my body needed. But I'm excited to get back into the yoga practice. If you ever need to take a break, if the actual vinyasa breath with movement feels too fast paced, honor that, rest. This time more than any other time, we need to just let our bodies lead the way instead of our minds. So no shame in taking more rest and taking child's pose the whole time, whatever you need to do. You've probably heard that during pregnancy, the hormone relaxin is in greater quantity in our bodies. And what that means is our tissues are more flexible. So you might be able to do the splits if you've never done the splits before, or fold deeper into a forward fold, or a more open back bend. I would be careful. I wouldn't lean on those connective tissues. Our muscles can stretch and return, but if we overstretch our ligaments and tendons, that can cause more harm than good in the long run. It can lead to issues like SI joint pain and pubic symphysis dysfunction, low back pain. Just be careful. Again, it's not a competition. We're not trying to be the most flexible thing in the world. This is more about staying mobile and fluid. And I like to take the approach, if we're doing a restorative practice, of course, relax, but use props to build things up to you so that you're not really hanging on your ligaments. But I like to take the approach of, if you're in a range of motion, can you control it? Can you own that using your muscles? So even before I was pregnant, I really started steering away from, I want to do the splits, or I want to achieve this pose, and just, I'm going to feel good in my body, and I want to flow and be fluid and mobile and kind of in control of my range of motion. That's my personal take. So relaxin is increased in our body. Be mindful of that. Know that. Maybe back off of some of the flexibility poses. I think that's it. I did mention back bends and wheel pose. Again, listen to your body. As we kind of grow, that might stretch our belly too much. So everyone's pregnancy progresses at a different rate and everyone's belly looks different. So you just got to do what feels good for you. If you're ever dizzy, please sit down in a safe spot. And I think that's all I have. I'm super excited. We're going to do a full range of different classes. And I hope you find something that serves you. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time.